All right, traders, I ended up having an amazing green day today, having 21 trades in total, 6 losses, 15 wins. I'm going to be breaking down today's price action analysis along with some of the recaps of the trades, and I'm also going to prepare you to trade the best setups at the best prices. Let's get straight in today's video analysis. So in terms of today, I was expecting an overall bull trap, and then we were interested in buying calls once the gaps fill. With that being said, SPY ended up gapping up. All of the swing traders who ended up buying puts ended up losing money. I was not one of those people because I don't swing trade personally into bullish green candlesticks on the daily chart, even if it is approaching a major bull trap level. I need some sort of bearish confirmation. So with that being said, I analyzed the chart and I was able to buy puts multiple times towards the high of day. One thing that I began to notice is in terms of the daily chart, if you actually look at this pattern, you have this green bullish candlestick right here. You have this green bullish candlestick right here. The next day it gaps up. The next day it gaps up. A major bull trap is created. A major bull trap is created. So once I identified that, I noticed it was a gift and a great opportunity to play puts towards that 403.70 to 404 level, which is what I ended up doing multiple times. In terms of the plan was to buy puts at major resistance at 404.67. That's where the major bull trap was created. I came up with that level by looking at the high of this. The high of this was 400, and let's see if we go right here, 404.67 was the major resistance, right? And then also, if you've been paying attention throughout the past week, every single time SPY has been having these small gap ups, it has been getting crushed. The SPY has been selling off from the pre-market highs towards market open every single time. You know, if we just look at the overall chart, when it's been gapping up, it does tend to sell off around 9:50 a.m. to 10 a.m. for a reversal to start to fill the gap. You can just visually see, look at all the times. Right here, it gapped up. It topped out during pre-market highs on this day. Right here, it gapped up. It topped during pre-market highs. Right here, it gapped up. It topped during pre-market highs. And it began to reverse and fill the gap. Began to reverse and fill the gap. Began to reverse and fill the gap. So you better believe we were hitting those put options towards the exact peaks, and we were able to know where the exact peak was because we identified two things. First of all, every single time it's been gapping up, it's been topping out early in the morning around 9:50 a.m. reversing, and it's been topping out towards pre-market highs. Second, we identified the new major bull trap level since we broke above this level of interest right here, which was at 402.50. Since we broke above, we identified there was great opportunities for puts at the next resistance level on the daily towards 404.67, which was very, very close to the high of day, and 402.67 was nearly the exact high of day. So the plan was absolutely perfect in terms of the put side. And then you could see not only do we have the right plan and the right mindset and the right analysis for puts, but we also had the right way for the inverse of puts, which is calls to go long. So if you look right here in the key levels, I had told people there is a gap to fill at $401.35. We will likely bounce and turn this previous resistance into support. The reason why I said that was if you look at what's been going on when SPY has been gapping up recently, it has been reversing at or near the gap. So you could see right here, SPY opened up higher than it previously closed, meaning all of the swing traders, all the put holders who ended up gambling into a bullish daily candlestick. And yes, I understand I was even bearish, but I didn't buy in swing trade puts because there was no confirmation. So I took advantage of all the bag holders and I ended up buying puts. And a lot of the bag holders who ended up swing trading puts just simply added at the market open. But I just like best setups, best prices with confirmation in a sense. So yeah, you can just visually see though, in terms of when the SPY has been gapping up, not only has it been selling off towards market open to fill the gap, but it's been reversing to push higher. Right here, it reversed to push higher above the gap. So there was a gap to fill at 393.74. It never filled. It reversed to push higher right around this time right here at 11:30 a.m. Right here, it actually filled the gap and it reversed right at the gap, and the bottom was towards 12 p.m. So again, a lot of similarities with the time and with what's going on with the candlesticks on the 30-minute chart. And then you can just visually see it did practically the same thing that it did recently, right? So SPY recently had this gap up here, And then again, you could see it gaps up and then it reverses around 11 a.m. So notice a pattern how it likes to reverse for the low day around 11 a.m. And it either fills the gap or it partially fills the gap and reverses higher. So today it partially filled it, it almost filled it, and it ended up reversing a little bit later than it was normally had been at 1:30 p.m. But if you look right here, and in terms of what was very predictable for calls, look at what it did yesterday. Yesterday it had a major bullish reversal at 2 p.m. and today it had a major bullish reversal at 1:30 p.m. So you're seeing a lot of similarities with history towards these gap filled levels. So that's why I was focused on buying call options when it hits to 401.35. It did never fill the gap, but I understood this is a bullish trend reversal candlestick on the 30-minute, and then I took advantage of the uptrend along the way. In terms of the best trades, I had some nice top ticks with puts in the morning towards 403.70 to 404 range, in and out quick. But my best trades today, the truly phenomenal ones, were buying the dips. Even when the trend was bearish and the gap was filling, I was banking on calls on dips. I knew it was going to reverse at some point. And, I knew it was going to be towards the gap fill level, but it could have been earlier. And then in terms of time frames, it's been occurring around 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. So I have some sort of sense with timing and price, right? Because it could partially fill the gap. So I hit calls many, many times. I had a very, if you guys were in the chat, for those of you within Trader Society, you already know the way I bottom ticked and traded calls was truly incredible. This was an amazing trade I had on calls. I noticed the pre-market lows were right here at 403, and I knew SPY can partially fill the gap and have a reversal. It was a slow bleed. It was oversold, so I ended up buying calls towards the exact low. Why did I buy here? Because it's towards the pre-market lows, and if you look at yesterday, a major bear trap was created towards pre-market lows. You could see right here, major bear trap was created towards pre-market lows. You have a bullish doji, you have a lot of support, a lot of wicks, and it reverses. So I did the same thing. I bought calls, excuse me, at the exact low of day. Right here, I was buying calls because this is a bullish trend reversal candlestick. If you see these bullish trend reversal candlesticks at key support, it's bullish. If you see them at resistance, it's bearish, right? So those are the best candlesticks you can possibly use, and for trend reversals. So I identified the pre-market lows, and I said, okay, yesterday it bottomed towards the pre-market lows. This is an absolute gift. I'm going to scoop some calls into these bullish wicks, into this trend reversal candle. And then how could you tell that the trend is starting to flip from bearish to bullish? Well, this is your previous resistance. If it breaks above the previous resistance and does not form new lower highs, and it forms a floor at previous resistance, that means that previous resistance is no longer resistance and it's turning into support, and the trend's flipping, and you're going to want to scoop some calls, right, and sell into the rips. That was a very nice trade that I ended up having. And then there was just many, many times where I was buying calls on these dips as it was going down, going against the trend in a sense. But I did very, very well because I was bottom ticking and I was just selling into the rip. I was getting in at the exact bottom, at the exact bottom, at the exact bottom multiple times, and then I was just selling into the rip, into the new lower high, right? So even against the trend, you can do fairly well if you're getting amazing entries and timing things appropriately. But in terms of other great opportunities for calls, like I said, I just continue to hit dips. It's just something where you truly had to be there within Trader Society. Basically, once the trend flipped bullish and once it partially filled the gap, I identified it as having a partial gap close reversal. So whenever it would go back to a key previous resistance level, I would buy the dip. So like, for example, this is strong resistance at 402.80. The trend's flipping bullish. It's partially filling the gap and it's having a reversal. Since it had a nice breakout above 402.80, guess what I told my team? I told my team the trend's bullish. When this drops right back, and I played puts at the peak, man. I played puts right here at 403.30, and I sold as soon as it dropped to 403. That was another nice trade I had. And then after I played puts at that exact peak, I told my team I'm buying calls right here at 402.80 to 402.70. As soon as it started hitting right here, I bought the calls. And then I sold into the rip. I bought the 403 calls out of the money, sold into the rip. Previous resistance reacted as support. You can see it bounce right here off support and reacted as support, turn previous resistance into support, which is bullish, it's going to try to spike, right? So I kept hitting calls at 402 80s, and I kept selling those 403 out of the money calls in the money for a very, very nice profit. Like I tell you guys, if the trend's bullish, it's reversing out the gap. If you want to milk the trend, wait for it to break above resistance right here, has a nice breakout, and when it drops back down to previous resistance right here, just buy the dip. And I was buying those calls right here when these candles looked bearish, when they didn't even close bullish. I was buying into the ugly. That's how I get the best entry. And I know where the bottom of the ugly can be because I analyze, okay, the trend's bullish. Where was the bear trap created? The bears got trapped right here. Once it broke out above this resistance level, massive bear trap. So I'm going to hit calls right here when it looks ugly, right? So those are some tips. Those are some tricks. That's how I was able to capitalize off of all the moves. Today was an absolutely phenomenal day for me. I ended up going 15 for 21, 15 wins, 6 losses. The losses were extremely small. I did end up taking the risk with a safe contract of full porting one of my plays. I put my entire portfolio into one of my plays. For me, if it goes against me, I get out quickly and it's just a scratch. It's not going to affect me personally within the position I'm in. But in terms of the plays that I've been full porting, which I don't recommend for anyone to do, they've been hitting. They hit almost every single time. I ended up full porting puts right here towards the peak at this 403.30, and it dropped a couple minutes later to 403, and I sold instantly in the money. It was a very, very nice trade. So those are the overall trades. Those are the overall thesis. What you guys need to understand is, I rarely swing trade. And like in terms of the video that I posted yesterday, like I understand I was expecting the bull trap at 400 and 250, but it ended up gapping up higher. And I don't look at that as being wrong because I didn't swing trade. There was even no confirmation of swing trade. You guys know I don't swing puts into bullish candles, but I looked at it as a gift because it's even higher than the price I wanted. It's more overextended. It's more overbought. And if you just visually see, man, every single time SPY has been gapping up, a bull trap gets created in the morning, in the morning, in the morning, in the morning. And it literally happens towards market open highs. And it's usually at those pre-market highs for the gap fill strategy. And we're not milking this to fill the gap below because it can partially fill the gap and then reverse, partially fill the gap and then reverse, partially fill the gap and then reverse. But we're making some nice money shorting those rips, and we're doing a very, very good job of identifying where the bear traps are going to get created to buy calls. We knew yesterday a bear trap can get created to buy calls right here at 398, previous resistance, right? Hence the gap didn't fill. Same thing happened today. Where's the previous resistance? Where's the previous bear trap level? Right here. This is where the bears got trapped at 400 and 150. Since it's having a massive breakout, once it goes back to previous resistance and starts to fill the gap, bears are going to get trapped again. Took advantage of calls. I would say personally, if you've been trading every single day on this gap up, on this gap up, on this gap up, this is where I had my red day right here, even though I had a phenomenal entry. I didn't like the slowness. Well, guess what? Today was fairly slow in a sense, but I traded much, much better. And I actually believe that had something to do with yesterday because there hasn't been a lot of slow days recently. The market's been extremely volatile once the FOMC hit, and overall it's just been a volatile year. But once we had a very slow day, it threw me off. But me trading that in terms of going through, that slowness, it actually made me trade better today because today was a slower day, and today was a slow day too. And it put me in the position to succeed because I was more adjusted to it. I was more used to it, and I traded it phenomenally. If you're consistently trading a certain type of price action, you're only going to get better at it. And I was able to adapt to that slowness fairly quickly and take advantage. I identified the mistakes that I made yesterday, and I did the same thing in a sense, but it worked. I stuck to my plan. I bought the puts towards, pre-market highs and towards my 402.60 key level overall, and it did well. Yesterday, I bought puts at the peak, but I got stopped out. Today, I didn't get stopped out. I did extremely well, and then I was killing it on calls, man. I'm telling you, if you were in the chat and you would have seen these trades I was making on calls, it was an exact bottom tick. In terms of the bottom ticks, that means you buy calls at the exact lows and it has a small spike and then you sell into the rip. I did that over 10 times today. And some of the levels that I was calling out on calls were literally the exact floor for quite some time. It was truly incredible on what I did with the calls. And that's where the vast majority of my money was made today, with calls as the gap was filling, going against the trend, in a sense. And then once the trend was bullish, I was hitting calls as well. So it worked for me both ways, when the trend was bearish and when the trend was bullish, right? But yeah, guys, that's my overall thoughts. That's my overall analysis. So in terms of what's your plan for tomorrow, right? What are you planning to do tomorrow? How are you planning to trade the best setups, the best prices? So let's go over some key levels, right? So for tomorrow, 403.70 is going to be a key level to be trading at. What do we need to know about 403.70? Well, if it reacts as a resistance level, we're going to be hitting puts heavy. If it gaps down, we look for puts at 403.70. If it does gap down, then we're going to see how it reacts at 401.35. If it forms a floor at 401.35, we're going to buy calls, sell into the rip, right? Sell above like 402. If it cracks 401.35, the next level that we're going to go to, if the SPY does crack 401.35, next level we go to is $400. So in terms of the cheat sheet for tomorrow, write these levels down: $398, $400, $401.35, $403.70. Above 403.70, you can say 404.67. If it goes above 404.67, then you can say, let's see, you can say 407. So that should be your overall levels. If we maintain this kind of slow volatility, that should be your overall range in levels, right? So if one of the levels breaks out and reacts to support, it goes to the higher level. If one of the levels breaks down, reacts as a resistance, it goes to the next lower level. So basically from the top, 407s, 403.70, and 401.35, $400, $398. That's going to be your overall cheat sheet for tomorrow in terms of like expected volatility in the overall range, right? So just to throw out some trade ideas, if we do gap up, then again, look for puts at the pre-market highs. You can also look for puts at major resistance. Where's the major resistance? Major resistance is going to be at the pre-market highs. Also look into 407s and 404.67, right? Those two levels. Pre-market highs, 404.67, 407.45, wherever the pre-market highs are going to be. But those are your levels that you watch for, right? Now, if we gap down, you can look to see for a quick reversal, 401.35, if not, $398. Those are your only two levels for call reversals if we gap down. And if we do gap down, then puts at 403.70. Very simple, very easy. So write down what I just said. This should play out fairly well. In terms of how does the daily chart look? Let's see. Right now, SPY's been going up. In terms of how it overall looks, it doesn't look the most bullish, but we'll just have to see how it reacts tomorrow. I personally think that, in a sense, it's going to drop and recover in a sense. We'll see like a drop and recover. And then in terms of where it's going to recover, we're going to look at 401.35. If that cracks, then we're going to be looking into 398, right? So that's what I want you to focus on. That's the best setup to those prices. Another phenomenal level for calls. It's just with the amount of slowness and lack of volatility, it's going to be hard for tomorrow. But another phenomenal level and the best level for calls would be 395.60, right? So in terms of your cheat sheet, we'll just quickly go over it. Let's go over the stairway. 395.60 is the bottom for calls. Very unlikely we hit tomorrow. 398 is your best level right here. 401.35 is a key gap fill level where a partial gap close reversal triggered. 403.70 is going to be your new gap level. As of now, we know it's make or break resistance. If we break above that, then we look for puts towards pre-market highs or towards this 407-ish level. Very, very simple day. Tomorrow should be another phenomenal green day. Fridays are known for being my best green days. So here's the deal, man. Traders Society, we're going to be raising the price very, very soon in early April. If you guys want to join us within Trader Society, it's a one-time fee. It's lifetime access. It's the first link in the description. You get access to live trading streams, live trading voice. Every single trade I take is alerted in real time to everyone within the SPY trading floor. I also have a separate channel where I alert the best setups at the best prices for those of you who just want to do those and don't want to do the quick in and out scalp lottos. But yeah, it's all in there, man. The gap trading course, the video lesson library, the trading system, man. Everything it is that I know about within the markets is within that course. So if you want to join, it's the first link down below in the description. You get access to the Discord server, the network, and I'm telling you, man, we have people who are consistently crushing it. So it's the first link down below in the description in terms of Trader Society as a whole. They did okay, man. I was a little surprised on how many people were actually red today. I actually found that shocking because I found today to be a very easy day. It was a decent amount of volatility, and it was just like yesterday, very similar repeat. And, you know, I had very, very good trade call outs and trades in real time. So I found that to be a little bit surprising. But I want to give a big shout out to the team, man. Top G has been killing it. So 43 people green today, 11 red. A lot of people didn't trade today. I truly don't understand how people went red today. I found it to be an extremely easy day. Where it was just like yesterday, gap up, sell the gap, and then gap fill reversal. I just found it to be a very simple, easier day. I was even banking on calls when the trend was bearish, when it was filling the gap. So I don't understand it, man. In terms of our polls, we had 38 go green and then 18 red. Like I said, I truly don't understand how many went red. Maybe a lot of them swing traders or something. But yeah, we had people do fairly well. Some of the best traders had a nice red day today. Dimitri made 31 grand yesterday. Today he lost 8K on his swing. That's on him. Jim C had another red day, man. I don't know why he's trading Alibaba. He's got to stop trading Alibaba. This guy's been killing it, man. Every single day I see this guy making 5% here, 10% here on his account. Big shout out to him. So if you want to be a part of Trader Society, it's the first link down below in the description. I will see you guys tomorrow live at Market Open. Now I'm going to go heal up. I've been feeling a little bit under the weather. Woke up sick. But I'll fight through it, man. You know, man is supposed to do what he's supposed to do despite how he feels. So I'm just going to continue to crush it. Plus, I have the whole weekend to heal up. So tomorrow's going to be a phenomenal day. Fridays are known for being my best trading days. If you want to join and get started now, it's the first link down below in the description. I will see you guys tomorrow live at Market Open.